These 3 habits have saved me thousands of dollars, and the best part is they only take 1 minute to implement. Want to learn them? Let's get straight into it. Just one simple question: does this purchase benefit future me? When we make impulse purchases, we obviously make them in the moment. They aren't like a clear, well thought out purchase. They're a split-second decision made in the moment. So when you introduce this question into your mind of like, will future me be benefiting from this purchase? It almost guilts you into realizing like, hey, this is actually a stupid impulse purchase and it's not going to benefit future you whatsoever. Sometimes when I want to buy Uber Eats, I just think of this question or it pops up in my mind and I save like $30 by not spending on my $10 meal because I'm like, will this benefit future me? Like, yeah, I might be satisfied, but I've spent $30 on a $10 meal, so like who's really winning? This habit has been working really good for me because in the next few months, my family and I are traveling to New Zealand, and it's always good to have that question pop up in my mind going like, hey, will this actually benefit future me? And in a lot of circumstances it doesn't, and then I just put that money into my New Zealand savings. And I just think it's a good tip to implement into your daily spending habits, and it takes literally 2 seconds to implement, so like, why not just try? All you have to do is to divide the cost of any product or item you're buying by your hourly rate. Let's say that you make $15 an hour. This is the number that you divide the products by. So let's say that you want to buy the new Sony wireless headphones. They cost $350. Instead of thinking of the headphones as just a figure of money, like $350, we'll divide $350 by your hourly rate of $15 an hour. This in turn shows us the headphones will cost us nearly 23.5 hours of work to pay for them. So now when I want to buy these Sony wireless headphones, I think, damn, these are going to cost me nearly 23.5 hours of work and time to pay for them. That's basically 3 full working days to pay for one item. This simple 1-minute habit will literally change your entire outlook on money and the things that you impulsively spend money on. Like, no longer is an $8 smoothie just $8, it's about 30 minutes of work to pay for it. And a drink at like any bar is probably going to set you back like 45 minutes of work. I've used this technique for probably hundreds of purchases in the past few years, and it kind of just makes you appreciate your time as like a limited resource as opposed to just like looking at items like a figure of money. Let's just say that you're a big impulse purchaser, something that I can somewhat relate to. For example, let's just say that you want to impulse purchase like $150 worth of clothes. Instead of falling for the impulse purchase, save like 10 or 20% of the total purchase cost. So for $150, that'd be like $15 or $30. And you can either spend that money or save it in a separate bank account. This separate bank account is purely for impulse purchases. Now, let's say for over the 6 months, you avoided $6,000 worth of impulsive purchases, but then you were able to save $600 in like that impulsive savings account. So now you decide, okay, like now it's time for me to actually spend some of that money. So you might spend it on like some clothes, a cool lunch, a gadget maybe, like whatever really floats your boat. But the good part is that you were able to save $5,400 of impulsive purchases, but still feed the desire with that 10% compromise. I think the reason why we all fall for impulsive purchases is because after a long week of working, we feel like we need to treat ourselves, and it's like, oh well, like I deserve this, I've worked hard this week. And while it's a good mindset to have, like carefree and whatever, it's not good if you want to save money. So compromising with 10 or 20% of the purchase costs will help bring down a lot of impulsive purchases and will help you save a lot of money. However, I also think this tip can be a bit of a double-edged sword, and like if you're frequently wanting to buy like $2,000 gadgets, well, you're still going to be spending $200 to $400. That's not really saving that much money. Like, just be a bit more realistic, and I probably wouldn't even use this tip for things like over $200. I think this tip works really well for like impulsive purchases that might be 10, 20 bucks that may be a piece of crap, but then when you're saving $1 or $2, you can put that money towards a much better, well thought out purchase in the future. I would credit these 3 1-minute habits to saving me thousands of dollars over the past few years. I use them all pretty much daily, and I really hope that they work for you and your spending habits too.